Hey everybody, it's First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich. We're doing our Facebook Live tonight. We're going to try to do these, I think, every night this week going into the weekend. There's only one more day left. We got Friday. We'll likely do one on Saturday, if not myself. Aisha Scott will be doing one. Obviously, I'll be posting vlogs throughout the weekend as well. Let's get right to the latest on our winter storm. The biggest update today, the fact that we actually have a winter storm watch now in effect for most of our area. I changed my banner here. I don't like it being purple like that. We have this color scheme thing. It's kind of weird. But you can see we've got a winter storm watch, which does include most of our North Carolina counties, except for Anson and Richmond counties. Now, for folks outside my viewing area, this does include the Triad area, Winston-Salem, Greensboro, High Point, obviously all of the Boone area, all of the mountains, Asheville, all those areas under a winter storm watch. Now, for the people not in the watch, I get the question, and I'll try to answer these. Why aren't we in a watch or something? Will it be expanded? It could be expanded into York County, northern Lancaster County, maybe even out here. Probably not going to see it expanded too far south unless there's a major shift. What's likely going to happen down in this area is we're going to probably see some type of winter weather advisory issued down in those areas at some point, I could see, and it could be expanded to the upstate. The reason you don't see that right now, there's a low confidence in those areas seeing significant winter weather, and we're still pretty far out, so we've got some time to kind of watch that system develop. A lot of these watches in our area, just for criteria to pull the curtain back, the watch is issued within 48 hours of an event where you have 50% confidence that there's going to be enough snow and ice to cause a winter storm criteria, which typically is 3 to 4 inches in a 12-hour period, or up to 6 inches of snow and ice in a 24-hour period. So it varies a little bit by elevation in part, but generally it's a 4-inch threshold for our area. So where's the system right now? Well, what's interesting is there's two parts of the system. This is the actual leading edge of the reinforcing cold air, and you're probably saying, reinforcing cold air? It was cold today. Now, there is some moisture with this, so the mountains tonight, we could see a surge of snow showers again. I don't think it'll be a huge deal, but there certainly will be some snow showers in the morning. But you can see there, it's actually even colder behind this front. Look at these temperatures, teens and 20s back here. This is really cold air, which is going to be moving in starting tomorrow going into Saturday. At the same time, you can see our storm system beginning to take shape as far as the moisture. There it is, now in Southern California, Arizona. It's actually raining in many parts of Arizona. Moving into Texas, this is where the main low is going to form. And there's actually going to be some pretty significant winter weather in this region of the country as well as this develops tomorrow. So we'll start to see this thing really take shape tomorrow. Now, a couple things that have changed in the last 24 hours is that there's some indications this might start a little sooner on Saturday, but I don't think it's going to change impacts overall, because I do think we'll see some rain moving in late Saturday, probably Saturday evening, but it's still not going to be a big impact until later Saturday night. So for Saturday plans, it's still not a huge impact. The big deal for this high pressure to the north is the cold air damming it's gonna cause. So you probably have heard me refer to this as the CAD. Somebody asked me about that the other day. CAD stands for cold air damming. We call it the wedge. Cold air gets trapped against the mountains. It's heavy, dense, and this is what makes the forecast difficult. The cold air is one part of it, but the warm air aloft and how those two overrun and interact with each other really dictates the type of precipitation. If you ever wonder why further north gets more snow and ice, because the CAD, or the cold air dome, is much deeper up in those areas, and where you get the transition is on the edges down here, but it looks like that transition is going to be very close to the North Carolina South Carolina line as we go, especially into Sunday. Snow and ice likely near the edges, with snow and ice primarily in the mountains, but I think the freezing rain threat is definitely something to keep an eye on, especially along I-85. Now, here's what I'm thinking right now, and again, this hasn't changed dramatically. I know everybody gets amped up on the amount, but it really should be important to look at the impacts, and the impacts will be quite significant in here, even without huge amounts of snow, because we're going to have ice on snow with some rain mixed in and maybe freezing rain. Now down here, this is the one area where we likely could see low impacts, but don't let your guard down here. I still think even in these areas, it might be rain, but it might mix in with some snow at times with temperatures just above freezing. Especially on Monday, there could be some snow down in this area. So I think every location, at least in my viewing area, has potential to at least see some snow. It's just a matter of how much. Ice and sleet, though, is really our biggest concern. Now, this graphic, I always like showing this because this is the probabilities of seeing 4 inches of snow. And I can show this for 2 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches, 8 inches. 4 inches is the kind of the threshold I use because that's winter storm warning criteria. So you can see the highest chance of seeing that back in here. And this is only through obviously 7 p.m. on Sunday. There will be more Sunday night into Monday. But notice this tight gradient. You go from 70% here, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. So just across Mecklenburg County, the very northern tip here, you can see is actually in the 60% chance of 4 inches. And the very southern tip, Pineville, Ballantyne area, is in the 10% chance. That's the kind of gradient. And this, a subtle shift of 20 miles could be all the change in the world for significant snow compared to ice. But everywhere in here is going to see something. Just a matter of how much is something. It may not help you, but the impact-wise, that's a pretty significant impact. Here's how things unfold. Tomorrow morning, no issues. Cold front comes through tomorrow. You'll notice the wind swinging around to the northeast. Saturday will start fine. Clouds increasing from the southwest. Now, this is 3 o'clock, and I'll go in closer. Don't worry if you can't see this. I think this is a little early. This version of our FUTURECAST is showing it a little bit early. You see the definite snow and sleet there, but look where that rain-snow line is. Right over Charlotte. I mean, this warm front will be key. If the low tracks a little farther south here, that allows the cold air to be deeper. If the low tracks a little farther north, that pushes the warm air up. So you can see how just a subtle change in the track of that low can make all the difference in the world on what we see, especially Sunday. Now you can see on the back side, the Monday event is going to be the upper trough and this low, which will swing through on Monday. So there could be a lull in the activity here, and then this stuff back here will be the Monday snow. So don't let your guard down once things kind of quiet down Sunday afternoon, maybe after 5, 6 o'clock. Sunday night could be quiet, and then we could wake up Monday to another burst of snow coming through with that system. So I'm going to show you the close-in FUTURECAST. To me, this is the best way to kind of show you what's going on. 6 a.m. Saturday morning. I'm going to stop this at 4 o'clock. I don't know why clouds came back in there because I thought I got rid of them. You can see at 4 o'clock, our FUTURECAST is showing the precipitation moving in. Now, mind you, probably this whole leading edge is going to have an incredibly tough time reaching the surface. The air mass over us, not only is it going to be cold, it's going to be incredibly dry. Dew points are going to be in the single digits and teens, I believe, in some locations. And so as that moisture falls into that dry air, the moisture will evaporate. Now, that will dry up the first batch of moisture, but it's also going to cause the air to cool through a process called evaporative cooling or dynamic cooling. This is why you feel cold when you get out of the shower or the tub or the pool in the summer. This is why your body sweats. Sweat on your skin allows your skin to cool itself because that sweat evaporates. It draws heat away from your body. In the atmosphere, when you throw this moisture into the atmosphere, energy has to go into evaporate, and that energy is loss of heating. It causes cooling. If you think about cooking on your stove, how do you boil water? You add heat to it. How do you cool things down? You remove heat from it. So when things get cooled down, you're removing heat, and that energy in the atmosphere goes into evaporation, which causes the cooling. This is why some patios around here, and especially in the desert Southwest, have those misters on their patio attached to a fan. NFL sidelines have them. That's evaporative cooling. You're trying to cause the air to be cool. So this happens in the atmosphere. You can notice even at 7 o'clock, it doesn't look like the line even makes it to Charlotte. So your travel plans are fine in here until Saturday night. Now, Asheville, upstate, might be a little bit more of a problem, but across this area, you're going to be okay until late Saturday night. I think it really starts to go downhill after midnight, which I'll stop right there. So you could see, we could see a rain-snow mix with some rain down here, rain, snow, sleet, all snow here. And really, I mean, nothing here. I could draw this in pencil because I'll have to erase and change it a million times. Please don't put too much stock into this area down here. Like, oh, look, we're fine in Chester County. We're fine in York County. Got to keep checking back. Trust me, this thing is a very dynamic system. It'll change a lot. Sunday morning, notice how the snow line starts to drift back south. And we start to see snow and sleet move back down to even Rock Hill, Monroe, maybe to Wadesboro. Maybe even down to the Chester County line, Lancaster. So you could see how that line has moved. I mean, just in the last 6 hours of this model, look how the change has occurred. I mean, it's pretty dramatic. And you can see on Sunday, this is why Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon, this looks looks miserable. This is going to be heavy stuff. This isn't going to be light snow. That's going to be heavy snow. This isn't going to be light sleet or freezing rain. If it's freezing rain or sleet, it is going to be coming down. And actually, in many cases, I wish this was all snow. This is also why I don't... people who think we're going to get a foot of snow in Charlotte, could we? Yeah, that's the high end. If all of this is snow, we're going to get a foot. But as you're seeing, this is not going to all be snow. If it's sleeting for 2 hours, that takes about, you know, 3-4 inches off the snow totals right there. If it changes to freezing rain for the 2-3 hours, that takes another couple inches off that. So these crazy snowfall totals aren't accounting for the fact that we're going to get a mix. A mix. Sleet always cuts down the totals. Now the sleet, while it cuts down snowfall totals, boy does it make the roads bad. Heavy sleet is like taking crushed ice out of your freezer and throwing it on the ground in piles. It just doesn't melt, man. It just makes for a mess. And even though the air temperatures are just above freezing here, which, you know, good luck, 33 right now, man. That could easily be 32 or 31. The skill at this range of the forecast, you know, if I'm within 3 degrees, I think I'm right. 3 degrees of that's 30 degrees. So you got to be really careful in these areas that we could see significant ice in that area. And just to kind of reiterate, I'm going to show you the snowfall and sleet accumulation graphic first. I put them both together. I haven't made a lot of drastic changes. This is my 4 o'clock update, and I'm going to stop it right there so you can see it. I've got 14 to 20 inches in the mountains and really the upslope areas of Burke and Caldwell, Wilkes, McDowell, those counties. 9 to 14 in here. There could be some huge wild swings, like you know, some of these areas, the brushies could end up with 14 and the valleys could have 9. Then down here, it's Shelby, the Gastonia, Lincolnton, Salisbury, even the north side, Kannapolis, 4 to 8. Davidson, Concord, Mooresville, 4 to 8. Uptown Charlotte could be 4 inches. South Charlotte could be 2 inches. Even Rock Hill could be 2 inches. Fort Mill, Indian Land, Indian Trail, Weddington. So, you know, you got to find yourself on this map. I can't, you know, and people always ask, oh, I'm right on the line. Well, it's 1 to 4 inches if you're on the line. If you're on the line here, it's 2 to 8 inches. So that's the kind of way you got to read that. If you're on the line, it means you're close to both. So I can't give you specifics. The whole point of having these spreads is because there's going to be huge range. And just to show you, 2 to 4 inches of snowfall is like the difference between 1/4 of an inch and like 1/2 inch of rain. That's like minute. If it was rainfall, it would be almost identical. So snowfall, you know, because it gets fluffed up with air, makes it seem like it's a bigger deal when it's not. Now, the ice threat, which is what a lot of people are not taking seriously because people think it's just going to be all cold rain. But look at the ice threat. Heavy ice potential in this area. This is the transition zone. Now, this could shift a little bit this way, or it could shift a little bit this way. So if everyone's south saying, oh, we're not going to get any snow, well, you better hope it's snow, because if it's ice, this is bad news. And I'm not talking like a little ice. That's like 1/4, 1/2, 3/4 of an inch. Power outage, tree coming down kind of ice here. This is the real deal in here, folks. So in this area, if you're thinking, oh, we're not getting snow, that's not good. It's actually bad because it's probably going to be ice. That ice potential is huge. And this is the biggest uncertainty in the forecast, not only in snowfall amounts, but ice amounts. I actually hope this is all snow. I don't think it's going to be all snow, but man, do I pray it is. Not because I love snow, but because that would be 100,000 times easier to deal with than all this ice, which would definitely cause power outages and could cripple power grids here for days and weeks. People don't remember, in December 2002, we had an ice storm about this same time, early in December. A lot of leaves on the trees still. You've probably been raking them the last couple of days. This will bring down a ton of trees. It knocked down more trees and more power lines than Hurricane Hugo. So don't let these things sneak up on you. Ice storms are the real deal in our area. Before I leave you, I'm going to leave you with my updated impact graphic. If you didn't see this, this is my way to try to explain what's going to happen. You can see the map here. So this area right here is the area I'm talking about. Watch what happens as we go through Saturday morning, or Sunday morning, excuse me. I don't want to say Saturday morning. Sunday morning through Monday morning. The worst snow in the mountains, foothills, and northwest Piedmont, north of Interstate 85, is going to be on Sunday. If we're going to see ice and sleet, it's going to be during the day on Sunday. But notice the road conditions will just go downhill, especially after sunset here, you know, Sunday night into Monday morning. And power outages, I would say, are in the yellow now, but that could go up. The one graphic I think I'm going to change for 11 is this one, and I'm going to tell you why. This is the area south of Interstate 85. Just to give you a perspective, that's the area I'm talking about. You can see my graphic here. The worst weather, at least snow, will be early Sunday. There could be a lull in here where it could be freezing rain or sleet, and then we could see the snow pick back up Monday morning. Now notice the highest ice chances here, right here on Sunday. And that means most hazardous travel, but I have this yellow right now. I think this should be orange or red because I do think power outages could be a big deal in that area. You know, remember what we're talking about here. The small difference between sleet, freezing rain, and just regular rain is really marginal. It's really close, and across a big chunk of our area, it's going to be one of those close calls where it's just, you know, at this point, it's too close to call right now. So I was going to show you that graphic, trying to show you, if I can pull it up. I got to find it again. It's buried in all my graphics in here. It's this one right here. I'm going to move my head out of the way. I'll move me up to the corner here. So you can see Boone there, solid snow, Hickory, snow and sleet, Mooresville, snow and sleet, Charlotte's in the ice, and Rock Hill's in the rain. But what's going to happen over the life of the storm is it's going to go back and forth. The rain snow line will shift south, it could shift back north, and then it could shift back south again. So the potential for that line to be going all over the place is pretty high right now. So just be prepared for that as we go into Sunday, in particular in the afternoon and evening. That's when the biggest volatility in the rain snow line will be. And then going into Sunday night and Monday is when we see the colder air come in with the upper low, and it likely will be all snow. So I will make any adjustments tonight that we have to the snowfall map. That's coming up tonight at 11. And of course we'll have complete coverage as we get ready for the system. We're 48 hours out from this really starting. So Saturday night at this time is when we'll likely have the radar showing up with all the snow and ice. So hope that helps explain everything. I know a lot of people ask questions about this graphic, or I saw snowfall here, the Weather Channel's forecast. Hey, I can only answer my own forecast. I am only accountable to myself and my forecast. So please avoid the temptation to ask me about those. I just don't know because it's not my forecast. I can only answer for myself. I can explain my forecast and be accountable for that, but that's all I ask of you. I'm not accountable for what other people say or do. So hopefully that helps you prepare. I'll do my best to keep you updated throughout the next 48 hours. I'll see you tonight at 11.